All right, let me get a few things set here. Good morning, but let me get a few things set. Wait just a minute. All right. Okay, so there is the link if anyone is interested. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Let's see here. I see Timmy Dog is already here with a comment. He's early. Yes, but most people shut the barn door after the horse has escaped and sound holier than thou. Why did you not voice your complaints before if you did not say anything before I do? I don't know, Timmy. You'll have to tell us what you're talking about because I could have a lot of complaints about a lot of different things. But let's wait to hear from Timmy. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Slick Rick. How are things in San Francisco? Hope you're doing well. Ricky Last, thanks for joining us. Scott F. is here this morning. Thank you. Wow, McLovin is here already. Good morning, McLovin. How are you? It's good to hear from you. Good to see you. You're coming back soon, aren't you? Are you coming back soon? I think you are. I'll tell you. World events. We've had quite a travesty of events that have taken place. I don't really need to go into them other than to say, don't you think, and you can comment on this, but don't you think that it seems like the world is getting weirder and weirder? All over. I mean, I'm looking at shit that's happening in the US. I'm looking at stuff that's happening in Australia. I'm looking at the stuff that's happening in the UK, Canada, just all over. Even the EU has got issues. It is something else, that's for sure. McLevin says, yeah, he's coming back in October for good. Well, that's great. I hope we get to see you. That is for sure. Luke Dog. Good morning, Luke Dog. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much. Rob Sells, Mexico. Hermano, you look good, as handsome as ever. Well, thank you, Rob. I hope I am at least as reasonable as I used to be. I'm not the man that I used to be. Or how's that go? I'm not as good as I used to be, but I'm as good as I can be, or something like that. I think that's Toby Keith, but I can't remember. Sunset Travel, good morning. Hope things are going well, or improving at least, in Australia for you. We look forward to you coming back. October, yep, I saw that. Okay, good morning, Mike. I'm recovering from a nasty bug. I think 6th season is starting. I had a nasty head cold last month. It lasted like almost 3 weeks. It was terrible. It's a shit show here in the U.S. Yeah, you know what, McLovin? It is crazy in certain instances. That is for sure. It really is. And I love the United States. I love my country. I love it. But it is definitely a problem. Barry Graham checking in from the Buckeye State. Thanks so much, Barry. Michael Atos, greetings from the bathroom after a day at the Chinese buffet. What surprise nonetheless. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry to hear that. That's for sure. I think we've all run into that problem, not necessarily at the Chinese buffet, but I think we've all run into that problem sooner or later. McLovin says we'll have to hit the Brazilian steakhouse. Yeah, Fogo de Chao. That was, McLovin sent me or said something the other day. I think it was in a live stream. I might have been in the Ugly Tourist live stream or something like that. I can't remember which. But Fogo de Chao. So the Bistro Group, which has the franchise rights for Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, TGI Fridays, half a dozen other big restaurant chains in the Philippines. They've opened up a Fogo de Chao steakhouse in Makati over at the Greenbelt Mall, I think it is. At the Green Hills Mall, Greenbelt Mall. I can't remember what it's officially called. But anyways, yes, we will definitely going. We will definitely go, McLovin, and you're welcome to ride down with us, although we will do an overnight. But you are welcome to ride down with us if you're going to be coming out of Angeles. That's for sure. I'm not, you know what? I've been to the Fogo de Chao in Chicago, one of the two original ones that opened up. And then I've been to the Fogo de Chao in Scottsdale, Arizona on multiple occasions. And I wouldn't call it the best ever. Okay, I wouldn't call it the best ever, but it's good and it's fun because what you do is you get a coaster, okay, and the coaster is red on one side and green on the other, and they have usually between 11 and 16 meats, different types of meat. And they walk around, the waiters walk around with these giant skewers and they bring it to your table and carve it off. So if your coaster is, on the red side, it means leave me alone, I'm eating. Okay. If your coaster is on the green side, it means keep it coming, keep coming, bring the people. Now, you don't have to accept. I mean, they may come over with tenderloin and you're waiting for ribeye, or they may come over with beef and you're waiting on chicken or pork or whatever. But they give you those choices. So I'm really looking forward to it. And to be honest with you, while the salad bar is somewhat limited, the ingredients are, at least in the U.S., and they're the same at every one of the Fogo de Chaos I've ever eaten at. Those ingredients are great. So I'm interested to see what happens here because good fresh vegetables are hard to keep, find, and come by. So we'll see. McLevin says we'll have to hit the Brazilian steakhouse for sure. For sure. Rob, here in Vegas till. Yeah, you know what, Rob? I love Vegas. One of my favorite restaurants in all the U.S. is right there in Vegas. It's called the Golden Steer. From the outside, it looks like a dump, but it's a great restaurant. Oh, my God. But it's not cheap at all. But their surf and turf is tremendous. Their prime rib is tremendous. It's great. It just really is. Let's see. Arlene keeps sending me messages. I'm sorry. Arlene is renewing her driver's license this morning. So we'll see what happens with that. Barry says, I agree. Rob's there till Wednesday. Then where do you go from there? Are you coming back? Are you coming to the Philippines? Are you going to Mexico? Are you going to be around? Where are you going come Wednesday? McLevin says, I'm in Chicago, so it's even worse. Chicago. I love Chicago. You know what? I was never a real tourist in Chicago. I had to go for a medical conference every year for 20 plus years. And, I always stayed at the Drake Hotel, which really isn't that great. It's an older landmark, refurbed, supposed to be high class. Quite honestly, it always looked a little dated to me, but I mean high class dated, if that makes any sense. But the rooms were spacious enough and big enough. The oyster bar at the Drake was tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Not that I liked oysters, but they had some of the best clam chowder ever. And fortunately, about 250 yards up the street, on the same street, the Drake kind of sits on a corner. No, not really on a corner, but the street it faces, up that street just a little bit, was a steakhouse called the Rosebud. Tremendous. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. The Ugly Tourist. Yeah, we were on the Ugly Tourist live stream. So that's where McLevin told me. I totally missed it. Totally missed that they were opening up a Fogo de Chão in Makati. And here in Angeles, over at the City Front Mall, which is across the street from SM Clark, Din Tai Fung is opening, which is probably one of my favorite. What would you call that? Not kimchi. What are they when they bring it to you in the little steamed dumplings and stuff like that? Shit, I can't remember. But anyways, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here. When are you going to do the road trip on the Philippine Expressway? I don't know. Right now, we have so much going on and so many plans going on. We just have so much going on. We had a window of opportunity and then realized that window of opportunity was going to be during elections, and we didn't want to be traveling by road down through Bisaya and Mindanao during the elections. Just a little bit risky. Not that it was bad or dangerous, but a little bit risky. And now our window of opportunity is I do not know when. So, we sort of have to kind of take it one day at a time. Barry says, when the USA Treasury bill is 4.6%, you got problems. Yeah. You know what? They'll just keep printing money. They'll keep printing money. Now, what the value of that money will be, I got no idea. But you have to keep in mind, the United States are the biggest consumers across the world. And they're not going to stop. They'll go in debt. Americans will go in debt to buy shit all the time. It's like everything is buying on time. Just crazy. We'll walk out of the restaurant with meat sweats. I tell you what, McLovin, I'm not sure how I'll even walk out of the restaurant. My daughter loved Fogo de Chão. We used to take her there a couple times a year. Rob says, when I'm on the dating sites and I run across any profiles where the girls are in Angeles City, I just swipe over them because I'm afraid that most of them are just bar girls. Do you think I'm wrong? Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, Rob. There's far more not bar girls in Angeles City than there are bar girls. It's that simple. Is the ratio of single moms high? Probably just about the same as anywhere else. I would think. I have no empirical data that would to prove what I'm saying. But yeah, you know, things. I think that dating sites sometimes get a bad name, deservedly so. There's all kinds of scammers. I mean, you've got just as much luck finding a guy from Nigeria posing as a girl in Angeles as you have in finding a good girl. But it's possible. It's possible you'll find a good girl. I mean, you know, when you do things, you exhaust all opportunities. You explore all avenues. Why not? I mean, if that's, you know, why limit yourself geographically? If you're gonna be in Angeles, well, they're geographically better to find. And then I guess the next thing that goes with that is, you know, bar girls are looking for guys too. Bar girls look for guys, all right, not just customers. They look for relationships as well. So you never know. You just never, ever know. However, let me do this real quick. Is this one I'm looking for? No. Yeah, but I do want everybody, but, oh, here we go. This, no, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. So, please do consider becoming a member. It's like $1.99 a month. We are slowly but surely pouring more resources and time into the members only section. Tomorrow, I will be doing a live stream mobile from Tequila Reef as a test. And then in the future, I will be doing members only live streams from Tequila Reef on Tuesdays. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how that goes. You know, we already have almost 50 members. I'm just really surprised. You know, instead of putting out a super chat or instead of a sticker, consider gifting memberships if you can do it, depending on whatever. First off, instead of, and that means, look, folks, this is a hobby for us. We don't need the income. So don't ever worry about sending money. That's for sure. But with that being said, if you're going to financially support the channel or want to financially support or contribute, please do consider purchasing a couple of gift memberships, and they'll pop up in the main channel, and you guys will be able to click on them and accept them. Good morning, Stocking By. Thank you so much, Vlogging Life. Thank you. We really appreciate it. How's things going in your neck of the woods? Tim Deziak, good morning to everybody. Ricky, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. There you go. I love that song. That's I like that video, that music video. That music video is really funny. McLovin, my kind of guy. McLovin knows the golden steer. It is good. In fact, it is great. You know, they have their own butter. I didn't know that. They have their own gourmet butters. I wish I had bought some back in the day. Those would be fun. Brewer fam, how you doing, Brewer? Good to see you. Thank you so much. He's from Chicago as well. Ruby, good day. You know what, Ruby? I used your name the other day. I made a video. I can't remember whether I used it or not. I think I did. I was talking about education in the Philippines. And yeah, I got a lot of shit about that. That's for sure. But I used you as an example of an exception to the rule. And I may have been wrong. I said I thought you went to UP Dillman. And Arlene reminded me she thought you went to school, university here. So maybe you can correct us. Maybe I'm wrong and Arlene's right. We'll see. Wouldn't be the first time, that's for sure. Michael, I have a different idea of what Brazilian steakhouse is. Surf and turf down under. There you go. Rob says, after Wednesday, I'll be back in Cancun for 2 weeks, touring clients on real estate. I've stayed in Cancun a number of times. We stayed back in the many years ago. We stayed at the Malia Turquesa. It was at that time about a 1 year, 2 year old resort. It was very nice, very nice. But it's been 20 years since we've stayed there, so I couldn't offer anything to update it. Ricky Laz, renewing her driver's license. I guess that means she made it back from her trip. Yes, Arlene made it back from the province just fine, no problems. In fact, her flight landed into Manila about 25-30 minutes early, which kind of surprised me because it was some pretty bad weather down in Mindanao when she left. But yeah, she made it back just fine. Good day, Ruby. Ruby asks, has Arlene done the LT online test for renewal? If so, bring a print copy to be submitted. Yes, she has, except here's the deal. So Arlene has a driver's license with a scooter, motorcycle addendum. So she did the online scooter renewal piece, which is like 25 questions. And then they say, yeah, you're done. Now, Arlene then found out that in order for her to do the LTO online test, she has to watch 5 hours. In order for her to renew, she has to watch 5 hours of videos. It's like 5 hours of video. Now she's a renewal, so there's no test. All right, there's medical, the motorcycle endorsement, and then there's no test because she has no violations. Now, but she has to do 5 hours. And she said, 5 hours in front of the computer? I'd rather just go to LTO. So that's where she's at right now. She's already done the medical. She's already passed the medical. All right. And now she's just upstairs waiting. So we'll see how that goes. But we forgot there's a LTO driver's license renewal place at SM Clark. So either later this week or next week, I'm going to go renew mine. And when I go to renew mine, we'll go, yeah, Arlene's, oh my God, Arlene must be bored. She's listening to my live stream at LTO. She said there is no online test for the driver's license, right? And yet she probably sent that while I was explaining it. As long as you don't have violations. And I don't know if you have a violation, if you can do the online. I think if you have a registered violation, I don't think you're allowed to do the online. I don't know. So, but anyways, yeah. McLevin says the best part of the Drake is the location. Yeah, it is. I mean, you're half a block to Michigan Ave, and then there's all Norman Rockwell layout during Christmas. Oh yes, Slick Rick. So Din Tai Fung is dim sum. If you want Renew online, you have to do ODEP. I can't remember. That's moving so fast. Hold on. Arlene is correcting me. If you want renewal online, you have to do ODEP 4 to 5 hours and also medical. Yeah. We got you, Arlen. We got you. Okay. Whoops. Sorry about that. Fogo will be our first stop on the best steak in the Philippines series. There you go, McLovin. We can do that. McLovin. And we can also do not just best steak, but best salad bar. Because as you get older, you need those vegetables, buddy. You cannot live on meat and rice. You need vegetables. Brewer fam, dim sum. There you go. Sean, if I have a valid U.S. driver's license, I don't need to do tests, do I? I just pay at LTO. Sean, it depends on how corrupt the LTO is where you're going. I had to take the test. Okay? Arlene had to take the test. We had to take the test. We had valid U.S. driver's licenses, but this was like right after they opened up after pandemic. And so I don't know what it is now. I really and truly don't know what it is now. And your driver's license, your U.S. driver's license, don't believe any of that bullshit about international driver's licenses, all right, that you can drive here. No, your U.S. driver's license does have a specific limited amount of time, okay? You are not allowed to drive on that. It's either 30 days or 90 days. I can't remember which, okay? So maybe somebody else, we have such great subscribers that somebody might be well enough or may very well be able to Google it quick enough. Look at that. Got my first thumbs down, 27 minutes. Man, my troll, my one little toothless troll, he must have been sleeping in this morning. 28, usually he gets me within the first 2 or 3 minutes with a thumbs down. That's okay. All right. We love you anyways. I almost had an opportunity to meet Sick Grandpa. Sick Grandpa is here in Angeles, and he's staying here at Candy Palace. But our schedules didn't meet up, and I was really looking forward to sitting down and talking to him for a few minutes. That would have been fun. But I guess it's not going to happen. Vlogging Life says, if ever in St. Paul, Minnesota, I recommend Bulvino's Churrascara. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, a lot of people have, once Fogo de Chao came out with that, once they did that, a lot of people copied it. And there are some people out there that said there are people out there that have done a better job. So who knows? But St. Paul, Minnesota, I have flown through St. Paul. That's the closest I ever got to St. Paul was the airport. I wish I had something better. Dim sum. Yeah, everybody is correcting me. Tim Desiak, Slick Rick, hello. Everybody's saying hello. Bob Barker, when you need to buy McDonald's on a payment plan, you got problems. No kidding. I mean, I used to have friends that used to give me a ration of crap that I put everything on my credit card. I mean, I would go to McDonald's and put it on my credit card. But it was only because of miles. I maximized that. I really did. But to be necessarily needing, who knows? McLevin, wonder how Fogo keeps the locals from filling up their empty ice cream containers and putting it in their purse. You know what? I don't know, McLevin, but did you see that they are booked solid? They have no bookings available for the next 2 weeks. I went and looked, all right? They have a post that said they're booked for like a week, but I went and looked at their reservation because we are bistro members. We have a bistro card, which might pay for itself, McLovin, because you get a 20% discount. But I don't know if it applies to Fogo de Chão. It's applied to everything else we've ever used, but I don't know if it does. And if you go on a Monday and you have a bistro card, you get a 30% discount. So I don't know, but it's some things that that we certainly would figure out. Speaking of debits, credit card, what the average debt of Americans? Man, Ruby, it's going up, I think. I think it's going up. And I think the really interesting thing would be to look at what is the average default rate on credit cards in America right now. I know years ago they used to publish that. I bet it's higher. Truly progressive, mandanga manga, po mula sur Luzon. Well, gotta love Luzon. That is for sure. We do. We really do. Michael Atas, Ruby around 6,500 USD. I bet Michael Googled that. Thank you very much, Michael. See, that's what I'm talking about. We have great subscribers. We really do. They're so helpful to everybody in the live streams. All right. And in the channel. And trust me, we don't always agree. I've got subscribers, and on certain topics, we are diametrically opposed, without a doubt. Sunset Travel, plenty of those girls in AC are from all over. Still this head cold, all right? Still the drainage, anyways. A problem with dating sites. Why not? I've met as many good as bad. Indeed. Wait till you see my next video. My next video will be coming out Wednesday. How much does it cost to bar hop? All right. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. So Thursday night, Arlene and I and some friends had dinner and then a bar hop, because I was bound and determined I was going to do this. And I had my sheet of paper. Actually, it wasn't even a sheet of paper. It was, you know what? I'll show it to you as soon as I find it here. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. So I've had this stupid card holder and notepad. I always took patient notes on it and kept notes and index cards on my patients. I've had this stupid thing for probably 25 years. So I don't know if you can see how small that is. I had a list of questions. All right. So 3 bars, and how much is it for everything? Call, well, beer, standard beer, your cost, lady girl cost, etc. Well, I'll be honest with you. I screwed it up. So instead, I had to do it again. I had to go to the bars a second time, 2 nights in a row. I know it's horrible, horrible. All right, can you believe that? Me at a bar 2 nights in a row? But my buddy Eddie said, Mike, I'll go with you. I'll keep track of things. So we went Friday night. Was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night as well. Or was it Saturday night? I can't remember. Anyways, we went and did it again, redid it. And see, this time I printed it all out. I gave myself plenty of room. Okay. to list all the questions, and I filled out one of these at every bar. Then I made a video, which you're going to see on Wednesday, about the average, all right, or the economy bar hop, the average bar hop, and then finally the bar hop that we know exists. So you're going to be, you'll be surprised. McLevin, $1.99 is going to blow the $1,000 monthly budget. Indeed. McLevin, you got to watch this video. I'm telling you, I do all the way down to figure out what percentage of the average income or average budget in the Philippines for expats is, and what percentage of one bar hop a week. So we'll see. You guys can you guys can figure that out. Truly Progressive. Where's Tequila Reef? So Tequila Reef, if you're familiar with Walking Street, there are three entrances. One, let's call it one on the north side, one on the south side, and one in the middle. The one in the middle connects to that's A Santos Road. Tequila Reef is on that corner. It's about, I don't know, 40, 50 yards from Walking Street. On A Santos connects directly into Tequila Reef, and the same side street. Many of you may be familiar with Miko's Lounge. It's on that same street as them. So that's where. Michael Anders, thanks, because it seems most U.S. people rely on credit cards on revolving credit and not use savings. No, I used the credit card extensively. I've never carried a balance. Let me rephrase that. I haven't carried a balance since I was 21 or 22 years old. 21 or 22 years old was the last time I ever carried a balance. Skip it all. What are you doing with the funds for the membership costs? Inquiring minds want to know. What am I doing with the funds? I'm bar hopping. I'm buying hookers. I'm sex patting around. Who knows what I'm doing with it, Michael? Skip it all. You know what? It helps defray the cost of internet, helps with the cost of equipment, of everything else that goes along with it. I mean, nowhere will we ever make enough money and to cover just the equipment side, okay? In YouTube. This has been a passionate hobby. That's it. With that being said, the membership wasn't to raise money. The membership was simply to put some skin in the game. I want serious people. I want serious members that have the ability to put a little skin in the game in order to voice their opinions and bring up subject matter. I wanted an area where I could talk about things that would cause too much controversy in the main channel. Like, I can't talk about politics out here. I can't talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm not even going to go into it. But I can't talk about certain things in the main channel without just upsetting the apple cart. There are really that many people that get butthurt. It's crazy. So I wanted a place where I could do it. But I also wanted a place where people had a little bit of skin in the game so that they'll be mature about how they participate. Scott says $10,700 per household in credit card debt. Okay, there's another number. See, so we never know up. Yeah, Ruby says, yeah, $1.99 is going to break somebody's bank or budget. If so, then this may not be the channel for them. I mean, we believe that you can have the life that you want to have, that you're willing to have, all right, that's acceptable to you. It just may not be for us. That's all. YouTube takes a large percentage of anything. Yeah, as far as the memberships go, YouTube takes 50%. All right. YouTube takes 30% of Google AdSense revenue, 33 or 34% of stickers and super chats, and 50% of memberships. I must be totally frank. Good morning from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Man, I haven't been to Albuquerque in forever. Albuquerque's near another favorite area of mine. There's a place in New Mexico called Hatch, New Mexico. And we used to go to Hatch, New Mexico 3-4 times a year just to get loads and loads of fresh green Hatch chilies. We could get them in Phoenix, but they weren't as fresh as what we could get in Hatch. That's for sure. My name. Did you ask my permission? No, Ruby, but I did use your name and I spoke nicely of you. Okay? Most rigged. Totally frank. Yeah, studied in grade. Yeah, it was UP Dillman. See, I thought it was UP Dillman. All right? I was pretty sure. And Ruby, I know, Ruby was raised and went to school in a upper privileged area. All right. I don't know if she was raised in an upper privileged family, but UP Dillman is a privileged school. It is a school, a serious school. And so she is sort of like she's sort of like an exception to the rule. And while Ruby will say, no, there's a lot of Filipinos, there are, of course, but there's far more that aren't. Far more that never had the opportunity, and far more even given the opportunity, didn't and couldn't. Fall leaves are turning colors and the smell of bonfires is coming. Oh, I don't know when the last time. The only color we see in leaf change here is when the leaves on the mango trees turn brown and fall off. SM says, Sunset Travel says, I didn't know about the one at SM. Good to know. You know what, Sunset? That's what we were told this morning. Or Lynn was told that while she was at LTO this morning. There was a guy at LTO. He's a driver, for a family. She was talking to him, and he said that she could have done her renewal at SM. So we're going to look into it. Ruby, oh yeah, there you go. Now we know for sure. Yep, that's where I did my renewal. So Ruby knows, she's verified it. See, great subscribers. Just great. Julie Berger, 5 hours of video for a license renewal. Yikes. What's the video assignment like for a new? You can't do a new one online, to the best of my knowledge. All right. To the best of my knowledge. Although maybe with the new eGov stuff, I now am fully there's what's it called? Hold on. Because it took a while, but where'd it go? Beep, beep, beep. Wait. I can't find it now. The Philippines eGov, I'm now fully registered and accepted with them. And they have a lot of options. So I'm going to be exploring that as well. Ruby says, they must have changed it. Did my renewal last year and had 10-year validity for not having any. Right. That's the same way it is now. But Arlene's, your first driver's license is good for 5 years. Your and each renewal after that is good for 10 years if you don't have any violations. Book 'em, Dano. Long live Charlie Kirk and the mind. Yeah. You know what, Dano? I'm really sad about that. He's got 2 beautiful children, a beautiful wife. That was just a senseless, absolutely senseless tragedy. The place that serves prime rib in Boracay, do they take walk-ins? Yes, they do take walk-ins. That's going to be the buffet at the Mandarin Hotel at Station 2. It's beachfront, or part of it's beachfront, okay? But that's going to be the buffet at the Mandarin. They do take walk-ins, but you will be subject to availability. The reservations get primary. And as good as it was, you may want to consider, but if you drop by, like, you're out and about, like let's say you're in Boracay, you're out and about during the course of the day, you can drop by and reserve there. You don't have to reserve by phone. You can reserve in person. So Michael says, I have a CDL for driving a truck, no cycle endorsement. So I think I'll buy a semi truck to drive in the Philippines. You'll have to get a permit for that, Michael. All right. That will not transfer. You'll have to take the test. Everyone, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like. Yes, indeed. And I will open up the panel if anybody would like to come online and cam up, have anything to discuss. Let me see, where am I at here? Wait. Sounds like you screwed up the bar hop one. Wait, let me get to that. Good God, I am really behind here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How did I get so far behind? I apologize. International driver's license is not worth the paper it's printed on. No, it's not, Tim. You're right. Chosen one. I didn't have to take no test when I got my license. Got a fixer, just like everybody else. There's certainly enough people to do that. That's for sure, chosen one. But you had to show up to get your picture taken. Sunset, I just took the fixer option for a license, $5,000 for everything except $500 for the nurses. There you are. If you have a motorcycle, McLovin, if you have a motorcycle endorsement on U.S. license, it'll help with the motorcycle license. Yes, it will. It'll transfer, or at least it used to. I don't know if it does now, but it used to. I think 90 days is up when you can use your valid for. Yeah, I think it's 90 days. Sub chosen one. When are you going to drop? Yeah, chosen one. I want to subscribe to your channel. When's it going to happen? From what I've seen and heard, think nobody ever took a driving test over there. Do they even give out traffic tickets over there? Maybe for an accident? Yeah, they give them out. They give them out. Trust me, we know. Usually they are moving violations with respect to being in the wrong lane. Arlen and I can never make it round trip to Manila and back without getting pulled over and having to pay off some little traffic dude for being in the wrong lane. Like, you can get trapped in these turn only lanes, and then as you kind of squeeze over into the go straight lane, they pull you over. Unsafe, whatever, 500 pesos, 1,000 max, pay it off. Martin Oxley says 90-day max for overseas. There you go. No need for fixtures. Quick process as long as you're a genuine driver and can pass the online test. Basic road rules. Yep. and a quick drug test. Yeah, I think the CDL stuff, to drive the big trucks, you have to take a drug test. I think Prepper's correct. I can't remember. Ruby, there's nothing quick when it comes to the license. Lines alone, you'll be there all day, but with a little extra cash, you skip the line. It can happen. I always laugh prior to the checkpoints. All the guilty are just, yeah, we see them all the time in the province. In the province, if we're driving from Kitchener to Butuan, from where our house is to Butuan for grocery shopping or something, we know where the checkpoints are going to be because it's going to be where there's a bunch of shade. LTO always does it where it's shade. So in the morning, it's in this area. In the afternoon, it's in this area. And you'll have a mile of cars and motorcycles pulled over to the side of the road waiting for them to close. Happens all the time. The number one way to get ahead, and be secure in life, focus on debt. Once you have maintained zero debt, well, yep, that absolutely makes sense, Prepper. Ruby, only took 30 minutes for LTO license because I was there first thing in the morning when the office opened up. But hey, you can splash your money in the Philippines. I'm frugal. There you go. Ruby has a very Philippine mindset when it comes to that. All right. And that's the way everybody should be. Professor Ricky D, I will return October 1st. Good deal. Good deal. Bob Barker says, sound like you screwed up the bar hop on purpose. No, I didn't. Really. I did not. But I did. Do you ever visit the Korean bars? No, but we're gonna. I'm gonna include them on this bar series, what it costs. So I'm going to do American bars, Australian bars, and Korean bars. That's expat. That's what I did back in 2009. It's been debt-free ever since, just focused on savings, retirement from then on. Life is much better, and it's a lot less stressful. You got to admit. 30-day credit card delinquency rate was 3.5% in the second quarter of 2025, according to the Federal Reserve. While this rate has seen some recent fluctuation, it remains near historic lows. Wow. I would have thought it would be higher. That's interesting, Michael. Thank you. Please be saying, thank you, Slick Rick. Yeah, we'd love for you to be a member. We'd love for you to be a member. Bar hopping equals never paying off your debt. Well, yeah, come on, Ricky. You can't. I don't know. I don't know all the bars. I don't know all the rules or everything, but I don't think running a tab at a bar and leaving and having like a monthly account there is a thing here, but it might be. I don't know. Do you do Johnny Street prices? I don't know what Johnny Street prices is, McLovin. You'll have to explain that to me. I'm sorry. The 2007 meltdown. Yeah. Pay all your bills and holiday from your membership funds. There you go. There you go. Brent from Pittsburgh. Good morning from Cavite. We have some real good. Look at that. Look at that beautiful young lady in his thumbnail. Wow, Brent. Somebody makes really pretty babies. I'd be proud. What a darling young lady. Where was that taken? Was that in the U.S. or was that taken here in the Philippines? Ricky says, Mike, I'm going to bed now. It's nearly 9 in Chicago. All right, Ricky, take care. We'll see you when you get here. Truly progressive. I will ask tomorrow how long tourists can drive on a valid U.S. driver's. I'm going to LTO tomorrow. Okay. Go to like 4 different LTOs because that way you'll get 4 different answers. But I'm pretty sure it's 90 days. The Ugly Tourist Uncut Raw supporting OPJ. Good morning, Ugly Tourist. How are you? I'm surprised. I saw your post saying you're no longer going to be watching other people's videos because your wife cut you off. Guys, when your wife dictates what you can watch on TV and on YouTube and everything else, it's a sign that you found a strong woman, stronger than you. Giving you a hard time there, Ugly Tourist. Chosen one, you can drive on a U.S. license to the Philippines forever. They don't know when you arrived. Don't make it complicated. But that's not true, Chosen one. In theory, you are supposed to carry your passport at all times or a copy of your passport along with a copy of the page that has your entry stamp. So, and then at that point, they can certainly tell. That's the law. Is it ever enforced? I think more than likely, Chosen one, the point's going to be nobody is going to show their driver's their passport, all right? Because quite frankly, they're just going to pay them off. Brewmeister, good morning. Chosen one's expert on the Philippines. Yeah, I don't know about expert. Pretty knowledgeable, that's for sure. I don't know about expert. Sean, at 63 years old, I've never seen the level of hate and division in the U.S. now. I'd rather live in my own little bubble here in the Philippines. Well, yeah. But you know what? If you were a Filipino and you were watching the Filipino news, you'd see a lot of hate and division in that. So, if you register online to get NBI clearance and you're from the U.S., your first name is Fist and Middle. Your middle name is MNU, middle name unknown. Odd. This will save you headaches. There you go. I have not had any debt in over 13 years. I doubt I even have a credit score. Wow. I always carried a mortgage. I always kept a mortgage. I leased my vehicles. Of the 3 vehicles, 2 I leased, 1 I owned outright. And the leased vehicles were leased under the corporations, not in my personal name. Do they have a blind pig after hours bar? If so, stay clear of the bar girls. Blind pig. I've never heard of a blind pig after hour bar, and I'm not going to be doing anything about after hour bars because, quite honestly, that's past my bedtime. My bedtime is, on a night that we go bar hopping, I want to be back home and in bed by 10. So, I'm not big into being out all night. That is just not my style at all. So we're going to post this back up here. And checking these messages. I did get a lot of shit yesterday for my video about raising your children in America and not raising your children in the U.S. And that I think that's a poor choice. But it's so there's some people that have no choice. Mike, have you been to the midget boxing in Manila? Yeah, we've been. Arlene and I went there years ago, pre-COVID. It's gone now. It's a tequila Mexican restaurant where they used to do midget boxing. Let me rephrase that. The last time we were there. The last time I looked, when we were there, it no longer midget boxing. It is a Mexican restaurant called Tequila something or another. But yeah, we went back in the day where they had the midget. What a ripoff that was. That was a tremendous ripoff. But at the same time, was kind of cute, kind of funny. What can we say? We ran into a couple guys, a couple U.S. Navy guys were on leave. They weren't in Subic or anything like that. They were stationed in, I forget where they were stationed. They were submariners and they were stationed, I guess, on a submarine. And the submarine was in port. I want to say it was in port in Singapore. But I could be wrong. You know what? It's been so many years ago. Prepper says, FYI, my last post, not fist. There we go. There we go. That makes better sense, Prepper. That makes better sense. Let me see what is going on here. Hang on just a minute. I have to check something real quick. That's what it is. So now I have to deal with Chubbs doing his live stream. I have to deal with regular guy doing his live stream. That's fine. Both of them need the money. We don't. So I wish them the best of success. Dwarf Toss, always a good night. You know, they outlawed, where was it that they outlawed that? It was a discrimination. Maybe it was in the U.S. many years ago. Maybe it was. I can't remember. It was in the U.S. years ago. And they outlawed dwarf tossing. It was somewhere. I can't remember. I can't remember where it was, but it's against the law, where they would take them and they would toss them down the bar. Of course, they would slick the bar up, all right, and then see how far you could toss a dwarf. I guess they felt that was discriminatory. Slick Rick, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and notification bell. There we go. All right. Well, we have been here an hour. Buenos dias, senor, from freezing Arizona. Oh, Dardos, can't possibly be cold there yet. Come on. Although this is a beautiful time of year, that's for sure. Michael says they outlawed it in Michigan back in the early 2000s. Yeah, I knew they outlawed it somewhere. I remembered reading about it. Now, the particulars was, it was a long time ago, so I don't know. So Bob says regular sized people tossing is okay. Yeah, regular sized people get tossed out of bars all the time. Although usually it's against their will. But imagine that story. McLovin says, imagine that story. I went on vacation and got locked up for throwing dwarfs. Yeah. Yeah. I think you should probably send an email to Ron White and have him do a skit on that. I bet he could make that funny. I really and truly do. Oh. So, well, let's see here. Vlogging Live says, I've been glad to get away from Arizona these last 2 months. Quite the heat wave, I heard. Yes, it was very hot from what I understand. When do you go back, Vlogging Life? Vlogging Life is really from right up the road. Where he lives and his partner, right up the road from where Arlen and I's house is up in Anthem. So, I bet we could have been to his house in probably 20 minutes. We used to go up there to the restaurant, Rock Springs restaurant, I guess it was. My daughter liked it. She really enjoyed it. And she was always, well, all right, I'm not going to lie. I was always happy to take her there so I could pick up a couple pies while we were there. You know, they made really good pies. Into this month, the 26th. Oh, it just goes too fast, doesn't it, vlogging life? It just goes too fast. That's a shame. That is a shame. Ah, man. I'll tell you. Okay. Well, with Chubbs and Regular Guy both doing live streams, I guess we are going to have to go ahead and let everybody run. You know, it is what it is. I wish them the best. I don't mean it in any negative way whatsoever, but it's not something that is worth spending time on. Philippines seems so oversaturated with YouTubers. I enjoy watching you and Andex. Others, you can tell, are just trying to get clicks. Sorry if I saw. No, Sean, everybody, look, we have plenty of people who don't like our content, don't agree with our content. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. All right. There are people that are absolutely devoted to their other YouTubers. That is great. All right. Some YouTubers desperately need that income. They really do. We don't desperately need it. And because we don't desperately need it, it doesn't bother us at all. It really doesn't. Okay. All right. So there's no crying at Phillies, McLovin says. Have a great day. Well, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow is going to be interesting. I think I have the mobile setup all correct now. Laptop, battery extension, multiple cams. So we'll be doing a live stream from Tequila Reef tomorrow. All right. With one cam at the street and one cam in. And we'll be, I want to put on a good live stream. I really and truly do. So I want it to be good. For us, it's more about the challenge of getting and putting out a technically good product. It's a passion. It really is. I'm not competitive. I don't care. Neither does Arlen. We're not competitive when it comes to this. You know what we're competitive about? We're competitive that we lead a good life, that we're happy with the life that we lead. That's the competition we're in, not with other people. That has to be hard existence. Yeah, it's got to be hard. It's got to be a lot of effort. Go find Rob the Canuck and report back to us. Rob the Canuck. Are you talking about Rob down in Naga City, Michael? Are you talking about Robert down in Naga City? Ugly Tourist wants to know what time. James Ugly will be doing, I usually get there, I'll be there from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock tomorrow. So that's when I usually go to Tequila Reef on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Unless it's raining. If it's raining, Arlen makes my breakfast. I don't go. Again, the laziest YouTuber in the history of Angeles YouTubers. That's me. That's us. We just tell you life the way we have it, and it's enjoyable. And I am not going to be whoring myself out and my retirement out. I'm just not going to do that for YouTube. It's just, I came here to retire, and that's the bottom line. I didn't come here to work. I didn't come here to be dependent on having a job and an obligation. I mean, quite honestly, the biggest obligation outside of family that I have is going to be producing and making what needs to be done in the members only section so that they get some value for helping and supporting the channel. That's important to us. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult because on the one hand, I'm very cognizant of the fact that I don't want to have a members only section. I have it because I want people to have a little skin in the game in order to comment and in order to participate in real conversations. You see, in this conversation, anybody can say anything, and we pretty much let it stand unless it's a personal attack on somebody or on somebody's family or on somebody's children. We won't tolerate that. In the member section, I want mature, responsible people that can hold a good debate, that can do that, that are willing to do that. And it's not like you're paying for that privilege. You're not. You're paying to show, hey, I support this channel and the idea of being a responsible person. And that's what it is. So are we going to filter on through and, oh my God, I'm going to change this. Oh my God, I'm going to change that. Oh my God. No. We just go with the flow. We really and truly do. That's what matters to us. All right. So Michael Atos says the old music promoter. I think you're talking about Rob down in Naga City. I haven't heard from him in probably 8 or 9 months. I hope he's doing well. Ugly Tourist, I'm going to crash it. Come on down, James. Come on down, Ugly. Come on down. But I'm not going to tell you all my secrets because you're so competitive. No, I'll tell you everything. I don't care. I hope you and Ding do great. I hope you do become the #1 vlogger in Angeles City. I do. More importantly, I hope you have congratulations in order for your new marriage and advance congratulations for what I'm sure is going to be a beautiful baby. Now, it'll be a beautiful baby because Ding is a beautiful young lady. It would be a better looking baby if Ugly wasn't the father. But I'm sure that Ding's genetics are going to take care of that. I'm just kidding, Ugly. Morning margaritas. No, McLovin. I cannot drink the margaritas at Tequila Reef. They just smash me. I do YouTube as a hobby. Not exactly, Tim. It's a hobby. It's a passionate hobby. Mike, start making proctologist videos from walking the street. This is how you can make a living doing. No, that's not going to work, Michael. That is not going to work. Sorry, it's not going to work. McLovin says intelligent conversations only. And yeah, intelligent debates. All right. I don't mind people with a different point of view at all. I can learn from a different point of view. That being said, there are some things that aren't a different point of view. There are some things that are just downright crazy. Ugly Tourist, I'm going to win. I hope you do. I hope you do. You know what? Talk to me in 2 years, okay? Let's get you some time under your belt. You've got to become a father. You've got to become a responsible father. And I don't think Ding is going to let you be a bystander in this. I just don't. Thank you. I do YouTube to win. Well, good. That's great. That is great. You know? Yeah, see you tomorrow if Ding lets me. Yeah, there you go. You know what? Ugly, if you bring Ding, all right, tomorrow, or no, Mini-Me will be in school. If you bring Ding tomorrow, I will buy Ding's breakfast. I won't buy yours, but I will buy Ding's breakfast. There you go. All right. Okay, folks, I really do have to get going. It's now an hour and 15 minutes, and we will certainly appreciate everybody dropping in. We certainly appreciate your time, your comments, and everything else. And we hope to see you in the very near future. Let me see. How do I get rid of this and this? And there we go.